Good evening. I don't even know what video this is. 678. I'm on a roll. We'll go ahead and check the geomagnetic storm report in just a minute. What we're going to talk about clearly is in the headline here. So let me just do a check and make sure that we're live. Okay, it looks like everything is legit. We'll wait around for a couple of minutes, and I'll start getting some news lined up. But basically, let me just start with the free flow, and fire up some music and get our imagination going. I only recently got into the whole Persian trance thing. I've always found it fascinating, more so Persian than Arabic trance. So it's actually quite interesting. Various cultural, traditional music throughout the world, I find to be nice to listen to, including Sade. And, if I could be a DJ and do a music show where I just play Sade, Is It a Crime? And I just talk truth in between songs, I would do that. And I would move somewhere. And so I'm just going to say this at the beginning. I'm coming back to the internet at a time in which events that I warned about years ago are manifesting. Okay, and I refuse to give up. That's why I came back to the internet. But I feel like, like I'm not doing enough with YouTube. And still, after a year of mentioning it to you, years later, I'm still not content on an alternative. But books really are the way to the future with the grid going down. All right, let's start thinking about this. I don't have a pendulum out, but it would be nice to start attracting people with psychic abilities to the show. The problem is a lot of people that dabble in those things, they don't necessarily like information that's true and accurate that goes against their belief system. Maybe that they can change it, or through the power of their mind, that they can avert the reality of human trafficking in World War III and just pretend it doesn't exist or something. So we have a lot of perverse wishful thinking when it comes to, a lot of mainstream psychics that are out there. Now, I have this streaming through the board, through the op. And so if there is an improvement here, to the audio, then that would be a very good thing. So is it a real attack? And who's doing the attacking? But in the end, I've been asking this question for a long, long time. And I think you already know the answer as well. We're dealing with the reality of real-world terrorism, violence, murder, white supremacy, with various returning troops from both Iraq and Afghanistan. And people want to shy away from this fact of the types of things that went on in basically our modern-day Cambodia killing fields. And so, years ago, what I've seen in spirit are spirits attached to the backs of many returning soldiers. And the way that I believe this works still waiting for our viewers, but we'll get there, is that whatever infection may be taking place, it's going to take some time before it shows its face. Now, do you understand? The real sleeper agents that you should have been considering yourself the entire time were the archonic, demonic sleeper agents and the very human beings called heroes in this nation, in this modern corpse of the Babylonian whore that we are chained to. And this whore that we are being chained to is being raped before our very eyes and that of your children. And through this visual, energetic, metaphysical trauma, the barbed wire and the concrete is paved on a dark road towards a dystopian future for the next generation. Generation 2025 is about to wake up in hell in 2045. Right here. So we'll have this music in the background. We'll go over here and here.
Complicating this identification of this individual, we also discovered through the coroner's office that the individual had sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle. One of the handguns was found at his feet inside of the vehicle. Obviously, in how we're trying to identify him, and I'm feeling comfortable to give you this information.
Dead men don't talk.
Is a tremendous amount of substantial evidence to include he rented the Turo vehicle. There are 2 tattoos, one of which was on the stomach and one of which is on the arm, that we can see bits and pieces of as in comparison.
What does this symbol represent, and why does this look photoshopped?
To what it is
right,
that we
but it may be a genuine. It just looks a little,
now know he had on his body.
All right,
given us a lot of confidence that this is in fact the same person.
I think that personally, I could take Marjorie Taylor Greene in the octagon. I don't know what you think about that. I know she thinks she's real badass and whatnot, like an out debater, out thinker. Are we live? Are we live? Huh? Are we live? 1 concurrent viewer, 2 concurrent viewer. Come on, folks. This is golden content. Get it together. Bring your friends. Bring your mom. She can bring the bonbons, but you got to clean up after yourself. The part of you people left last night is just not to be tolerated. Let me just make sure we're live, because we don't have any engagement with the audience, and I'm in my own little Truman show where I don't know if you're there, I'm here, what planet I'm on. If I'm awake, I'm asleep. You ever had the experience where you wake up, you're like, oh my God, what time is it? Is it 9 o'clock? Is it 3 o'clock? Is it AM or PM? And how would you know? And why is this showing? All right, let's go back here. Okay, so let's go over here. Okay, I see where we are. I'm getting used to this new software. You'll have to forgive me. Or we're using the software to do a Shogun.
Obviously, in how we're trying to identify him, and I'm feeling comfortable to give you this information, is a tremendous amount of substantial evidence to include.
Is there a manifesto? Is he claiming to be a white supremacist? Is he claiming to get back? So I'm going to look at this, and we're going to try to ascertain, is this real or not real? And then for those of you that believe in divination, pendulums, I Ching, things of that nature, we can bring in certain spiritual traditions, maybe get some psychics involved in watching this, and we can start looking at what is real, what is not real. I believe that the whole, psychic phenomena arena should expand to what we're doing here. You know what I mean by that, right? So it should not limit itself, in my opinion. We're just going to pause for a minute, make sure we're still live. We have 2 viewers. Thank you. And thank you for the likes that will come later. All right. So the title again, and I'm gonna give you another example. I've given this example about 10 times. Let's go ahead and bring up something on the internet right now that will bring you this idea. So we're gonna bounce around between the legit theory, madman, maybe angry because of what they experienced over there, and or a Jinn attachment, or a false flag, or maybe you might have another idea. But when it doesn't appear to be any genuine Islamic terrorism, however, they are claiming that an ISIS flag was left in New Orleans, and there's a number of stories that may have appeared to be events that they could have or might blame on immigrants or Muslims, but still appeared to be other people. Shock and awe. Shock and awe is where I'm going. Okay, so stay there. I'm going to bring up an article here so you see what I'm talking about. I learned this from Clyde Lewis. I don't agree with everything he has to say, but he did some golden, I wish his 2003 episodes were, available. Shock and awe is a military strategy that uses overwhelming force to paralyze an enemy's perception of the battlefield and destroy their will to fight. Yeah, shock and awe. Now, shock and awe, though, according to Clyde Lewis, Akina. His interpretation of it, the shock and awe campaign, was that they were summoning demons through bombings. Now think about that. Think about ancient lands being bombed and human beings being sent in with all that suffering. Okay, so that's the type of thing that I'm going to have to look up later and bring to you. Okay, but think about that. And so there's been a big disturbance with people with PTSD and other psychological symptoms that have come back. And so that's a lot longer issue. So I don't hate the troops per se. I hate what Americans, our fellow brothers and sisters, have been used for. We're not going to go down the long, long road of war crimes and talking about the women that get raped in the military and the bad decisions some of the women make with the partners in the military that leads to some of them getting killed and whacked on army bases. Now, this issue, this kink with vets killing vets, dudes killing women, not so sure it's the other way around, has been increasing in recent years. You know what I mean? And I have sympathy for all the women that have been killed, but also some criticism for women, especially cute Latinas, that want to take the easy way out, get involved in the U.S. military when they are involved in all different types of repression. Of course, the U.S. military is going to be needed during World War III, won't it? When we're doing China and Russia. And has there been a concerted effort to dehumanize and demonize the U.S. military by allowing the bad eggs to get away with actual murder while calling them heroes? What's one name that comes to mind? What's one name that comes to mind that is often worshipped and treated with massive admiration? Chris Kyle of American Sniper. And this type of worship fest around this individual, Punisher logo, and then it becoming an infection of the truth movement, where you have these layers away from truth movement, the actual core, but now it's a husk, a dead beetle, you know, to mimic maybe Alex Jones in Matrix of Control, circa 2003 documentary, back in the day where he literally seemed to be of the creator himself, sent by the creator. Now, more like the creator's nemesis. And if you haven't checked out my Alex Jones Inception series, you might want to check that out. So, do you have people right now at InfoWars or other places? InfoWars going to be bought by The Onion? Don't tell me that's not staged with Alex's and Elon Musk knowing. So, you know, people back in the day would be like, oh, Alex Jones is trying to position himself for Fox News. I'd be like, that's bullshit. He's never going to be on Fox News. He's always going to be positioned there to play the fake renegade that's acting outside the corporate matrix, when in fact he coordinates with Fox News. And there's reporters that go back and forth. Then there's reporters that go back and forth between the Russian government mouthpieces and American government media like Liz Wall. So what is the official conspiracy theory right now out there on the internet? What are they saying? What website should I go to? Should I even care? Okay. And who's to blame? See, I think the agenda is to continue to attack the truth or mind. So nobody knows anything anymore, you know, like, and everybody's just numb and just chasing down the latest trend. It's like bombing here, bombing here, bombing here. You know, it's easy for somebody to get disoriented. And we've already exited, folks, just so you know, the arena where people had an interest in quality documentaries, long talk shows. You know, sometimes I wonder why that is. You know, I cite Coast to Coast, I cite Clyde Lewis, I cited Alex Jones. However, Coast to Coast audience members are really screwed up folks and don't have an appreciation for the stuff I put on their show. They're into more of the garbly-goo, James Gillen, Ellen's gonna save us, up the ass, anal bead type of content. Real unfortunate stuff. And then you have Clyde Lewis, who used to be on the air, or he may not be on the air now in Portland. And so, you know, I don't know exactly what's going on there, but he's not quality content. But people do have low attention spans, all right? So I'm getting at is people are further away now in society with being able to question things, okay? Now, the woke movement comes demonic to me, wokers, because they're running around, you know, doing you know what, and then acting really self-righteous, so the wokers aren't here, but sometimes they're in the metro area. I mean, they're there far away, but they're not here in my media environment. It's amazing how violent women that are leftists, violent protesters, can be to supposedly LARP and Rage Against the Machine, maybe play with the dildo, to the actual LP, Rage Against the Machine, like Angel S of Clackamas, literally horn dogs for rock stars. But when it comes to actually Rage Against the Machine, that's an example of a woman that joined the welfare state. And even though she came to my meetups, and I omit her last name, so she's another fake angel, her mom named Angel, who's actually a demon. She could have done something to help me get housing when I was in Portland, or tell people that I needed housing, or to give me advice later after I left Portland. And she never talked to me again. Okay. So, having an attraction to certain people, being a nice guy. What's our main topic? I'm over on Planet Pop Tart here, dealing with my trauma. Our recent terror attack bombings, false flags. It's amazing how many 9/11 truthers that I knew over the years got on board the Trump train. And so when you have such a dramatic shift from we're awake, we're truthing, what was that song by, Amy, what's her face? Revolution, gonna have a revolution. Whoa. Okay, wrong song. Here, let's find it for you. And everybody was so manic. Then there was the other one that David Icke was getting into. They will not torture us. They will. But they did that, though, and you bent over and you took it. You could have gone off grid. You could have done this, but you were really just high off solar flares when you did that song and the people were partying. They will not control us. But they did control you. They did send people down the fake news web of the Syrians going to get you, Trump's going to save you, even though he says he likes to grab the woman by the coochie. Oh, yeah, they will not control. Now, talk about like fantasy. Talk about people living in a fake reality. They will not control. Dude, they control you 24/7 with beforeitsnews.com. Donald Trump, Alex Jones, Coast to Coast AM, James Gillen, and more.
Paranoia is in bloom. The PR transmissions will resume. Now try to push, try to keep us all down and hope that we will never see the truth around. Another promise, another scene, another.
I mean, does this look like the face of that which is trying to change the world? I mean, has he written a book? Does he talk about solar flares? Now, I talk to you about this, talk about something else, okay? What is the deal with women? Well, that's interesting. Stops a sexual assault. Attacked and punched and kicked by security guard. Interesting. Interesting. On heroin. Now, let's go with that one. When it comes to, I'm on a roll with this.
Want to
Okay,
go through some
stay with me here.
your memories from the videos that you've made from shooting.
Okay, I had legitimate reasons for using heroin, but my life was destroyed, and no one's ever really talked to me about that. And watching people worship this guy who killed himself, who copped out, when I did not cop out, and my life was destroyed for predicting World War III and exposing human trafficking. Watching people that I've come to care about worship this man, okay, and have some sort of deep mystical experience with him just because he was emo, hurts my fucking feelings and shit. Whether it be him, Alice in Chains. I thought my grandma was a nutter in 1994. She was right, I was wrong. She grabbed that disc given to me by none other than the A-Man, with a macabre interest in all things under the sun or here in hell. And she's looking through this CD from Alice in Chains, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing with this? And I thought she was weird. Oh, grandma, it's just lyrics. Now, I identify with a lot of Alice in Chains and that pain. But what she was looking at was the lyrics. This is vile. This is dirty. And that's part of the archonic infection that a lot of people have as is it called necromancy? So through the admiration and wearing of shirts of dead people that are not in line with the masters in the inner plane, but are in the hell realms. It is not good for your mental health to admire dead people that were not in a good headspace. And so I told you that to tell you this. Many humans now can't think. Many humans now can't provide for themselves. Many humans now, thank you for the like, will not be able to determine if something is a real event. They're admiring dead junkies who didn't do shit to actually expose anything but just cry about their pain. That isn't a great deal different than the gangbangers in LA that are popular about talking about living in the hood, but now it's about pimping bitches and whores and shit, and it's been that way for a long time. And the vile lyrics about abusing women just gets worse and worse and worse, all right? And so, since 2014, since 2015, just to summarize, women really kept a stronger distance from me. And I know I took a dip into poverty and stepped away from my status. But pushing back against popular conspiracy theory talking points where it shifted to, oh, the brown people are the enemy. And then I'm psychic and intuitive and very, very bright, if you aren't hip to that. I was gaslit for years for people confusing my criticism of false flags for being anti-white or something. It is straight up Nazi as fuck when people false flag. And this is a false flag generation, and it's going to continue to be a false flag society. It looks like there's a slight delay possibly from the stream period, from the software to what's going out. So we can go ahead and start watching some videos. Okay, we've been live here 22 minutes. We can also end it. But the idea of the piggybacking soldiers, we'll go to a video in a second, comes from the idea that when you're in a war zone and there's rape and there's murder and there's people getting killed and there's spirits that are coming out of bodies and going into other bodies, there's a more, are you with me or did I lose you? Now think about the various people, and now I want you to think about this. Think about now the various people into ufology that ignore white supremacy. Think about now. I want you to think about it now. I want you to think about it now. The various people that cannot conceive of the role that the archons are playing in white supremacy and things of that nature. Of course they are playing these games. You know what I mean? I mean, do you? And so they are manipulating events on Earth, and they can send people in certain directions to say, put people into a camp, do this type of a thing, and then later come around the corner with another government and blame all the people in that region, kind of like the German women, and then the Russians went in and raped them and shit. Right? So there are consequences when evil takes over your society, and I'm a messenger of God. You need to know that. Okay? People attacking me for being right are not on the path of trying to help anybody. They're products of this generation in the world, you know? And frankly, a lot of people are just going to be in my way. Mentally, if I open up the comments and deal with the dribble, as Mark Massio put it. Now, I've been obsessed with looking for, if you're a Passio geek, you need to get at me. Paul, where you at? Jenkins, my boy, I'm calling you out. No, what episodes did he mention that got into the giant worship? But let's bring the giant worship to talk about the false flags. How am I going to connect my obsession with exposing giant worship, its connection to the Anunnaki and the destruction of Middle Eastern bloodlines by the year 2100? And did you get all that, my honey? Good, cookie for you. But did you get all that? And the point that I said about I'm an original thinker. There's no man on earth like me. I'm a natural speaker. I'm a natural orator. And I literally pull the truth out of the air. Did you hear that one too? Good. Quote me. Because you're going to hear a lot more about me in 100 years. So you might as well start taking notes. So the evil ones can either possess people to carry out events, and they can have a bunch of people set, either immigrants, veterans, or other people, to go on like a blitzkrieg. And then there's that hot Latina that one day at the gym tried to get sidetracked, that got on the hamster wheel machine, and I'm right behind her, and she's got the shirt on, berserker. She wants a tall, white, military berserker. So she's not on the side of the angelic realms. She wants to get off and get off hard with a giant who goes into foreign countries and kills the villagers. And so they literally are turning little brown girls into Nazis. Did you get that one too? You should. And so when you have that charge of evil, you have an alien invasion that's invisible, coming from the sun, that's lurching into the bodies of people. Have you seen the movie The Happening with Wahlberg by chance? Would you like to watch the trailer now? Watch it on your own time. Basically, something happens with the atmosphere, and people start walking around committing suicide. So committing suicide, killing others, or rape, things of a lower vibration, there is a shift in the wind. And that lady at the store today was freaked out about her getting sick. And I'm telling you right now, I'm sick. I'm not worried about it per se, but this lady was amping up my anxiety about us all getting sick or something. But when I tried to tell her, I talked about it on the other channel for a half hour. All right, that's a big one. What? Well, that's phlegm. That's something. So I'm catching something. Listen, ma'am. You're prepping because of the very events that I talk about on my channel with a deep, tall man voice. And being a deep, powerful speaker like a giant alarms people. Wait a minute. Are you some sort of a witch demon? You're a little body. How do you hit the bag like that? You're not human. You're subhuman. When in fact, I was just made different. And so modern humans are so screwed up, they don't identify true masculinity. They're like, that's demonic. You can't be that smart. Oh, you're a witch. You're demonic. You don't have powers of the mind. No, God gave us actual consciousness powers where you and I can communicate and do psychically right the fuck now. And so when you're judging me, I feel it. When you're rolling your eyes and you're backing out, I'm feeling it. And I'm oftentimes getting pissy about it. These are my cards. And so I hand them my cards, and my friends tell me it's too long, and your videos are too long. When you have to dumb things down into 1-minute videos, we're now living in the world in which people can't do research, they don't make documentary films, they don't want to watch documentary films, so everything is shorts. And we're in the era of the deepfake and AI. And so our future is just likely to be like demons basically creating false flag news. Pause. The fuck? Demons creating fake news that humans that are lower than average consciousness wasting their time venerating Kurt Cobain while ignoring real psychics alive today who did not kill themselves because they were strong and they quit heroin. I'm a champion. I'm a winner. He's a loser. Okay, and I'm tired of seeing, I'll take that back. I'm tired of seeing people worship and admire rock stars when they bully people that have generally been hurt. They're not, oh, I didn't get my dick sucked today. I'm such a baby. Oh, I'm so famous and popular. My life sucks. Well, bro, have you thought about activism? Have you thought about caring about somebody other than your own expletive? Have you thought about doing something other than banging Courtney Love? Because if you're going to hang around with crackheads, they're going to kill yourself, fucking punk. Have you heard of MGTOW? There's so many ways I could have got through to that guy, slapped him awake, taught him a boxing lesson, shot dope with him, and then tried to get clean with him, and then talked to him about nerdy shit for months in rehab about God. People like me should be remembered before something happens to me. Have you really heard that song, In the Living Years? Do you want to be that person? After I'm gone, remembering you talked to me in the living years. Every generation. I lost my voice. And so it's going to be like that. And that's why I came back to the internet, because it felt like, oh, in the living years, I had to come back to you and talk about these things because the false flags are coming. And a day is coming in which there'll be nothing but news. And the people will be so brainwashed, they will be themselves screaming for the obvious answer. And they can have full control, take over alternative media. China invade America, take over our media, round up dissenters of the new U.S. government because they have hardcore experience rounding up the Uyghurs. And so I see a right-wing neo-Nazi CCP alliance. And I've discussed with Russia's help we don't need to stop watching. You need to stay. I told you about this for 10 years. And then sometimes the alternative media, you hear bizarre things from conspiracy people where they sound so dumb, they're telegraphing like they're in on it when they're nobodies. Or maybe he was in on it. Christopher Green saying several things in 2020. It's too bad China and the US can't get together to take over the world. Quote, 2020, Chris Green, piece of shit motherfucker who I could knock out with one punch. Punk. Who the fuck are you, punk? To talk about being tough. You're not an athlete, you're a Nazi. You sit there like all the rest, Christopher Green, acting like white supremacy is an issue, talking about people don't work out when I work out, and you refused to watch my video on the Chinese invasion because you and your fucking daddy's money and whatever fucking crack you've taken into your body, you have just abused your audience, motherfucker. Let's just stop. You are nothing, motherfucker, and I've always wanted to meet you in the streets of Phoenix, and you're not even going to watch this because you're such a punk. And you want to sit there in 2020, send this to him. He ain't gonna watch it because he's a coward. 2020, motherfucker, you said the Iranians were in America to carry out false flags. You're a Nazi. Who I think works for Vladimir Putin. Bye-bye, 5 subscribers. I'll give you a few minutes. That dude gave hand jobs to Putin at a level that I never knew was possible. He'd get all giddy, do a line of cocaine in 2012, and be like, Vladimir Putin's my daddy! Vladimir Putin's my daddy! But Russia can save us! But Russia can save us! I just don't understand! I just don't understand! And like, he's so feminine. He can't hit a bag. He doesn't do martial arts. He relies on gun, gold, silver, bullshit, friends at Google that have engineered backdoor access to tell that guy exactly how to tag his videos. From a psychic, you'll call schizophrenic. I don't care. Here, do it. From a schizoid perspective, I assumed he was working for the devil. Getting inside info along with Alex Jones as to all the right things to say to lead us into their camp to think us that they were truthers, only to lead us to this fucker now who's returning. I'm the king. Hey, Macarena, and it's like, it's obvious there's like this honeymoon with like Trump coming back and like the people are high on solar jizz, solar bukkake. Okay? You know, it's not Trump, bro. The Trump thing's just the sideshow. It's not the Wagyu beef for half off at the market. It's the juju juice from the solar flares. It's not really Trump. The New Year's parties and the violence and all that festive energy, solar flares, geomatic storm happening right now. And so, 'tis the season, next topic, of the false flag. Do you understand me? Down to the link, description box. You are privy to the most important information. You are now in your own episode of Indiana Jones as you stumble upon the stone tablet of Thoth, as you put thy hand upon it, as you attempt to grab my book and slowly, but now you must run. You must know when to run. And a lot of people in this world, they don't know when to run. They don't know when to stay. They've just lost it. How many viewers do we have? 7, 5, 5, 7, 7, 5. This is Solar Wars. If you fill up your gas this week, 1 time a week, 2 times a week, if you paid for an official combo meal, not what I get, the kiddie meal, the McDouble meal. I like to take my big old girlfriends out to McDonald's for a big old feast. No, actually, one of the demon guys at the gym, he came to the sauna, he was literally going, and so like when I make fun of these motherfuckers and like what I hear in them as spirit, and I like mock some of you, like the dumb ones that are there, not the smart ones, I go, and when I came out of the sauna today, this dude was marching in going, and I went, oh my God, dude, I'm so psychic, it hurts. What you need to read from this is the following, and I'm gonna tell you where to go. Do you have a pen and paper? Okay. Why not? I clearly told you when you signed for school that you had to get the things that were on this card. Pencils, papers, you need to take notes. No. You think you heard what I said. Back up. No. Back it up. Talk to the hand. You think you heard what I said. You need to get the quote. I'm taking a moment to feed the... Well, hello, Jennifer. Thank you for meeting me at the park for this potluck today. Would you like a slice of ham? Here, piggy, 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 piggy. Sounds of screams after the bombs drop on Kabul, Afghanistan. As the New World Order pushes forth its 2100 agenda, I'm the only man on planet Earth warning you of the plans for the 2100 agenda to exterminate the Middle East or take down America trying. Watch out for the people you trust the most. You're going to be led into one hell of a trap. Alex Jones, I've got your number. Answer this, honey. Do you really? Oh no, come to the defense of women. No, come to the defense of women. You women up there, oh, no, you want to come to the defense of women. And when I criticize bad behavior, then you come to the defense of women now. What do you think about these stories about women joining ISIS? I call bullshit. I say, why are you saying that women's join ISIS? Unless they, really are the bad boys. That's next level. Maybe I need to be schooled. I don't know. What do I know? All right. Just stop. Yeah, nothing like a little bit of copyright. And one person on sub, they probably heard that. Oh my God, he's doing witchcraft. You want to talk about witchcraft? You are in a fucking witchcraft matrix that's beyond Thunderdome. America? Witchcraft Central. Donald Trump trying to pretend to be like Stallone. Bro, here's a dumbbell, work out. You can't look more like a faggot to me than putting your face. Dude, I did that to Lee Haney, the bodybuilder, when I was 12. When A-Man brought over the 19... What's the A-Man that got beat up by blacks bringing over a Lee Haney magazine? I don't know. But he was trying to be cool. And so you bring out the Lee Haney magazine, you take out a little picture of me, and I put on Lee... I'm 12 years old. But Trump's an adult. Furthermore, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about the seriousness and how bad faggotry has gone. Okay, and so this anthem right here is a faggotry album. Okay, you're going to hear it in a minute. We're going to listen to the song. And so when people listen to demon songs, they fall under demon spells and they take on the faggotry frequency. And so they get behind the dude. And who's the dude? Who is it? Who dances this? Does anybody come to mind when you hear this song? And is this song not about faggots? It's just a question. And by the way, have you unsubbed yet, faggot? Hey, have you taken the jab yet? He said he supports the jab. So you're with the jab then. Oh, awesome. Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump. You can get your jerked off. You can lie to people. You can false flag all the world. Donald World Order. Trump World Order. And if you don't agree with me, you're a snowflake, but I'll cry about your free speech. But I'll cry about your free speech and call you leftard because you're smarter than me. That's right. Call somebody a snowflake if they're a genius. Way to say you're a demon. I'm having too much fun with this. I miss the YMCA in Longview, Washington. It's time to kick Donald Trump's ass, as well as Biden Harris, and let me have a little talk with George Bush. Come here, Obama. Come here. Let me grab those ears. Ah! Piece of shit. Drone attack in Afghanistan. Obama. Piece of shit. Obama, Donald, Obama, Donald, Obama, Donald, Obama, Donald. I voted for Obama and I voted for Donald. I'm a god now. Do you realize how many people voted for Obama that voted for Donald that bragged about being smart or something? Are we still live? Is anyone here? You need to stop. Now, the ultimate question though, but we can only play several seconds of this anthem because they like to really control the message, but that is the ultimate question. Are you? Cue music. We pulled it out. We pulled out in time. Ha! We pulled out in time. But what is this song about? And what is Dawkins attempting to hunt and forage in the landscape of the Booty Short Matrix? What is this song about? And what is he willing to do to capture his prey? I'm a little concerned about some of these lyrics. Anyways, let's bring this back down to a serious tone and then get you back to elementary school, wherever you came from. Middle school, recess, the sandbox, the Matrix, Planet Pop-Tart. The fact of the matter is we don't have people questioning false flags. And if they do, they're going to blame it on Biden because Biden's, look, whatever Illuminati shadow government is, it's the same system no matter what. And people know that, but they have football fantasies that you can just be, okay, let me tell you that a guy like Trump can just walk in from the outside with his money and change things. Now, let me tell you, identify a really dumb person who does not have a deep imagination. People that talk like Jesse Ventura, that are Johnny-come-lately conspiracy tards, who my friend the A-Man knew and knew he was a piece of shit when he lived in Portland. Okay. Probably a racist piece of shit too on top of it, that Jesse Ventura. So he's a Johnny-come-lately who inserted himself, let me stick it in, who inserted himself. He has great things to say. He has great things to say. He supports the federal legalization of marijuana, and he illegally, when he lived in Colorado or through Colorado, got marijuana to his dying wife or wife with an illness. I think he's so awesome for that. And people should do that to help people out. He said, though, it's like they take the presidents into a room, and they say, hey, this is JFK, and if you don't do what we say, then we're going to JFK you. That's a very low IQ conspiracy worldview of how they control people. Did you know that? And so that's an indicator that you're not dealing with a deep, deep thinker that can troubleshoot, but they're just copying and pasting thought forms and slogans from other people. Basically, a lot of conspiracy people are now dribble that are controlled from a central source. Now, what are the top websites that are telling people how to think, how to feel? I'm not sure. It seems broken up, but it's still the same matrix. You have True Social, you have Facebook, you have Rumble, okay? You have BitChute. And a lot of these people think that these are alternatives to YouTube, that they respect free speech more. But there is, like with BitChute, which I have on block here, like Gypsy Fox, so I won't watch anything from his BitChute world because that leans into traditionally a very fringe area that caters to demographics I won't talk about here, but not ones that I would ever want here on my channel. The BitChute matrix is not serving God, okay, and has been put on blast for its front page promoting Hitler content. So that's strange bedfellows for people that traditionally have been targeted by the Hitlerian consciousness, for those that think that they can insert themselves in their world or like change something. So don't go down this rabbit hole of addiction to alternative platforms, because these alternative platforms have a dark ET agenda. I think I've said enough. We're at 46 minutes in.